Hello. I'm over here at my son's garage and I decided to do something I've been wanting to do for a while. And to me, it's a big deal. To some, it might not be a big deal. And I showed this a while back, uh, probably a year ago. And it has to do with your headers. Your cheaper headers usually have some rough places in them. And some people would say that's fine and they leave it alone and you bolt them on your vehicle and it's probably okay in most cases. I'm trying to get everything I can out of this cheap stuff that I'm using. And when I say cheap, I'm not saying money wise it was cheap. It was cheaper than a better set of headers. But I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Put the old glasses on here. And this is what you have from the factory here. And I don't know how good this will show up on the old camera here, but a lot of flashing down inside the tube. And keep in mind, these are very thin tubes, so you're limited on what you can do. So this is what I started on right here. And believe it or not, it's better in person than what it looks like on this viewfinder. But I'm not worried about pretty. I'm worried about how that exhaust is coming out without any really bad... hang on a second. Anything bad being in the way, like this weld. If you see here, with the weld coming out around the flange, how much it pinches this area off compared to this. So I'm just going for better than it was. What do you think? Better than that? I think so. And some of these are worse. So I don't know if you can see. I'm having a hard time getting in there. I'm using the old trash can to do this on. And it seems to work out pretty well. Holds it pretty good. But the best thing it does is if the header slips off, it just falls down in the trash can without really hurting it, without bending it up or anything. So the old plastic trash can working out pretty well for me there. So I'm not going to bore you too much with any of this. I will show a little bit what I'm doing. Because I told you guys as I did things I would show some of it. But you can use the old reliable carbide bit, or you can use the ball, stone, or this type of stone. Or this type of stone. Or this type of stone. Whatever works for you. Whatever fits the contour of that the best for you. So in most cases, guess what? You'll probably use 3 or 4 of them. Because one will work better in one spot, as like here, grinding the weld. And what you have, of course, is different coarseness of the stone. So your white stone here is going to be for smoother surface, just to smooth things out. This stone here is going to be coarser. And to be quite honest, this brand that I buy here is just a cheap brand because they're convenient and I buy them at a certain store. But if you had a better high dollar stone, which cost a good stone like this here would cost you the same as I paid for a whole pack of these. So it all depends on what you want to use, what's comfortable for you, and what works for you. But we'll do a little bit of this. Like I said, I don't want to bore you guys with too much of this because it's just the idea of showing you what I'm up to and how it works. And I hope you can see what I'm talking about here. This has quite a bit of a step. Comes out of the tube, goes into the flange, dips down here, and then goes back up. And it's really not a good transfer. So that's what I'm after, just to get it better. You're limited on what you can do, like I said, because this is very thin. These are not made real thick. And I'm just trying to get the excess where it's thick. And I get a little annoyed, guys, on YouTube because it never shows you fellas how it really is. It's pretty nasty right here. So anyway, let's get on with this here. Cutting this down to start out with, better off using something more aggressive to knock the weld down. Weld's one of the hardest things to grind. In a lot of cases, it's harder to grind the weld than it would be to grind this flange right there. I'm trying not to take any more than I have to. I just want to even it out, flatten it out, where it has a nice, consistent shape coming in. So I don't want a bunch of stuff overlapping and all that. But I also don't want to, if I can help it, I don't want to go cutting too much and then have it where the headers are leaking, because I could break through if I get too aggressive where they welded the flange. And if that happens, I will have my son weld them back up. If you really wanted to be safe, you could actually have somebody weld the flange on the outside before you even start doing this. And that way you'd be good to go for sure. So I can get a better angle on there. I can't really get close with the camera because when I do that, then I can't get in there straight with my drill here, and it makes it where it's not a fair assessment. I'm trying to demonstrate this. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea when I show this stuff. There is always a better way of doing it than what I'm doing it right here. So. So I got the sharp edges off of it for the most part there. This bit is not the best thing to be using either, to be honest. It's kind of worn out. It's not very aggressive. I'm just using what I have. So whatever would work for you and be comfortable for you to use or to make better time with. You have something that's aggressive and could knock that out a lot quicker, then it's up to you what you want to use. Some guys already have a lot of experience doing stuff with metal, but I try to look out for the guy that don't have a lot of experience and explain this stuff, so somebody don't try to do this and get themselves in trouble, egging something or getting too carried away. So a little bit is better. Too much may be worse. So how about that for a saying? Starting to take shape. A little bit better, right? Better than that. So even if you just smoothed it out some, would still be better than this big hunk of metals sticking out there. The big flange right there with the weld comes gushing through and pinches way off right there. Try to knock that paint off so you guys can see just exactly how much that sticks out. The black kind of hides this, I think, when I'm trying to show you guys on the channel here. The light plays tricks and things like that. So. Kind of gives you an idea there how rough that really is. Getting some of that paint off of there. Pretty nasty, right guys? So I think that's an improvement. Like I said, we're not going for anything fancy. We're just trying to make it better here. And that's all you can do. You're limited on... Hello. You're limited on how far you can go. And like I said, just use common sense. And I think it's worth the time to do it myself. Headers help. It's always an improvement with horsepower, especially if you have more compression. And the more you turn the engine, RPM wise, things like that, that's why you see debates on how much horsepower you pick up putting headers on. And some people will put the wrong size primary tube on. You'll see a lot of guys will put a bigger tube on the motor, bigger primary tube than what the engine calls for. That can actually hurt. You're better off staying on the small side. If you have an engine that's not real built, like turn 6,000, 6,500. If you just have like a truck and you're towing and things like that, keep the primary tube small. Usually the bigger stuff will hurt an engine if you're just doing mediocre stuff. So just thought I'd throw that in there. With that, I'm going to get back to work here. Try to get this done. Because I just showed this as a demonstration about a year or so ago. But now I'm trying to actually knock these out so they're ready to go on the old engine when I get everything done. Try and get the little things done that take time and that's kind of not fun. And this could be fun for somebody, but for me, it's just something I need to get out of the way. So it's been hanging on my head since I saw these headers come out of the box. Like I said, some guys would throw them things on and say, that's not hurting anything. And it might not on something that's, you're just putting headers on because you had manifolds on the vehicle before. They're still going to help. It's going to be a big improvement. So just because you see me doing this on YouTube, don't mean you have to take your headers back off your vehicle and start grinding. It's not about that. I see guys, they get carried away and they'll hear me say something or show something. It's not going to kill it one way or the other. I might not see 5 horsepower difference. It might not have 2 horsepower difference doing this. It's just I want it to be a smooth transfer. Just my way of thinking. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you for keeping up on what we're doing here. And we're hammering out a few things here, guys. So keep watching if you're interested in any of this stock block, low budget stuff. You might have a few things that will inspire you maybe with your own stuff, or we have some future plans here that Adam talked about a little bit with a race coming up and things like that. So keep watching and keep commenting there. We enjoy hearing from you. And yeah, I actually like hearing about what you guys do too. I want to say that while I'm on here. You guys tell me once in a while, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I like when you guys tell me what you're up to. So with that, I want to say thank you and God bless you. I got to get back to work. I got some grinding to do.